You're listening to this episode on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or YouTube. Hit that subscribe button and leave us a comment. It would greatly benefit the show. Hello and welcome to Movie Baiters for the Farx Brothers. I'm Kirk.
I'm Kyle.
I'm Nick.
And we're joined by MovieManT. Today we're talking about one battle after another.
When do I open it? Yeah, okay.
When do I open it?
Don't talk over it when he opens it.
Oh,
and don't talk over mine when I open mine. Thank you. So where do you want to start? This is the non-spoiler segment.
I want to thank MovieManT for bringing Dranks as our second filmed guest, assuming this gets released. You got the hat and everything because you got the pre-screen. Can you tell me about the pre-screening? It's a bait show, but I'm not like bait.
Oh, what do you want to know about it?
How early did you have to get to the pre-screening to get in? Because that's the least favorite thing of a pre-screening to me is when you're not.
Oh, you had to get there on time?
Well, no, that you partially. But that if you're not press, like we should be press by this point, and let us join the Minnesota Critics Alliance, even though we're a bait show, not a critic show. You gotta get there. How early did you have to get there? The question to Taylor.
Roseville changed it up. You can't get there super early anymore. The line starts at 5:30 now.
Oh, do they give out more tickets than? Did anyone not get in that you saw?
I would assume when I walked out there was a free 2-ticket pass on the floor, so I assume some people, that's what they gave to the people. I assume that's what they give to people when they can't get in.
Oh.
But,
because
it sounded like that when I walked out there to use the bathroom before it started, some lady, I thought one of the people that was Allied or whoever puts it on.
Sure. You can sponsor if you want us to say your names on the show. Allied Media, locally.
The one lady, or it was the guy or the lady mentioned that they were full up or something, and they had to turn some people away. But yeah, it wasn't that full till about, they let us in at 6:15, and then the line started getting, it was like about 6 o'clock.
But was it a laughing audience? Like, were they loud? Was it a good reaction? Sometimes the critics' audiences aren't, as fun. Said it.
The second half of the movie, when it turns into a comedy, yeah, they were all in. I think like everyone else in the beginning with some stuff, they were like, oh, it's this kind of movie. So it took a minute till he got cooking.
Dear brother Nick, do you want to start with
Wait, hold on, can you turn off the movie?
Can I turn off what?
Yeah, so we don't have any distractions from our last time?
Yeah, these subtitles are fucking distracting as fuck, man.
Sorry.
Fuck you, fuck everybody in the family, he says.
We're not a Spectrum show anymore, so we're not going to distract. Didn't we have it on in the last video episode? Anyways.
We did, but it was distracting.
I'm sorry. I don't want you to be distracted. I enjoy somewhat, juggling with one hand while doing something else with the other.
Is that what you do on your OnlyFans?
Yes, I juggle with one hand and then do something else with the other. It's usually just online shopping or something.
Oh, just...
Yeah.
Well, that's really lame, Kyle. That's really lame.
Well, I'm not signing up for that.
So, when you're signing up for OnlyFans, what are you signing up for? What Boogie Nights, see, I got it back. Where do you rank this in relation to Boogie Nights? Because I know that you're a you're not a big PTA guy, right?
You mean the half hour of Boogie Nights that I've seen?
Okay, so this is what always boggles my mind, is that you have worked in movies, you've watched movies at inappropriately young ages.
Yeah.
And it sounds like, because you were saying you've only seen part of The Master, the part with the naked ladies.
Well, I've seen more than that, but that was one of them. Yeah.
See, but if you're watching The Master that way, it would be infuriating to me because it wouldn't add up to anything. If you're just watching, describe to me just watching part, because just watching part of this movie actually could work, unlike a lot of his other movies that to me are.
Wait, you mean one battle after another specifically?
It's the most accessible.
Yeah, because you could watch a car chase for just the car chase. You could watch a one shot in Boogie Nights for just the one shot, but most of his movies, especially The Master, to me, it's why is this guy drinking so much? It would make no sense unless you were.
Yeah. So what's the question?
What PTA movies have you seen, and which ones do you like? I know you've seen The Phantom Thread.
I didn't care for Phantom Thread.
Oh no.
I've seen that scene. Well, parts of Boogie Nights, where William H. Macy blows his brains out. That's cool.
The midpoint. Spoilers for an old movie.
Yeah.
Fuck you. You should have watched it. By
now.
I've actually never seen any of the shots of Dirk Diggler's dick.
Oh, what?
So I know I'm like I gotta change that.
It's just the end of the movie.
Bucket
It's
list.
just it's a movie that came out when I wasn't interested in that type of movie. I was 13. I'm like, yeah, I know Heather Graham's topless and whatever. Like,
She was in Spy Who Shagged Me as well.
see, that's the movie I was seeing when I was in 1999 when I was 15. Yeah.
I watched that Eddie Murphy movie with her, where Steve Martin is making a movie. And
Bowfinger.
Bowfinger. Yes.
Bowfinger is good.
I think of Heather Graham in that, where she learns first she's sleeping with the other actor, then she's sleeping with the writer, then she's sleeping with the director, and finally she gets to the head of the studio.
I
or something.
forgot that subplot. I actually don't remember any of that subplot.
For whatever reason, that's the thing that sticks out about Bowfinger to me. So you're pretty much coming into this with like.
Yeah, I mean, I don't like I mean, yeah, I don't have I haven't watched a lot of Paul Thomas Anderson's movies in full.
But this was your favorite this year. This movie.
Yeah, it's a very much possible number one for me.
All right. So MovieManT, you did
I'm proud of you.
Wait, what?
I'm proud of you.
What? How would you like to do rankings? And let me tell you why you're wrong. Where do you rank this movie in relation to his oeuvre? I can spell oeuvre too. I can't.
Go ahead and spell it. Well,
O-U-V...
Ouevre.
I guess you can't spell it.
Yeah. See, you're a better speller than I am. All right, are you right?
It might be OEU though.
Which one what do you have as number one on PTA's?
There Will Be Blood.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cliche.
How's that cliche?
Because it's the one everyone.
The best one. It's the best one.
Is anyone going to pick Phantom Thread?
Me.
No.
People who like to sleep?
Licorice Pizza?
Actually, we know a Zillennial who picked Licorice Pizza, and she liked One Battle After Another. Okay.
Yeah, that was wild.
Well, because Kirk doesn't like Licorice Pizza.
Yeah, and it wasn't because it was the Asian thing. It's because...
Wait, what was the Asian thing?
There was a very offensive Asian character in the movie.
The Asian character isn't offensive.
Wait, no, it's the white guy who married the Asian character. Yeah, I forgot.
You can read your mind if you want me to.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I got There Will Be Blood as 1, Boogie as 2, One Battle as 3rd, Inherent Vice at 4,
Really?
Master at 5, Phantom Thread at 6, Magnolia 7, Pizza at 8, Punch at 9, and Heart 8 at 10.
Wait, Punch Drunk? You don't like Punch Drunk Love?
It's not that I love all 10 movies. It's just how I like them as the ranking, essentially.
I think
there's not a bad movie, in my opinion.
Here's why I liked Punch Drunk Love. It's under 2 hours. Like when Paul
I know,
Thomas.
isn't that wild?
Kind of, yeah. I like that about the movie. It still feels like dry in places if you're not. He's like a wavelength movie. If you're not on the wavelength, you're not like Nick didn't like Phantom Thread because it's not his jam or whatever. When you saw it, maybe never if you saw it. You know what I mean? And you've never had the urge to watch Boogie Nights because when you were 13 and knew Heather Graham was naked, you still chose the spy who shagged you.
Strong man.
Yeah, I mean, like...
And he had access to all the videotapes.
Huh?
Because didn't you have like a cousin or an uncle who got them before they went to the video rental store?
Yes, he was like in the video department for Best Buy, so they get like screener copies. I got the unrated copy of Jason Goes to Hell when I was 9.
That's the one where the bed folds on the woman while they're banging?
No, that's Freddy vs. Jason. This dude gets folded in half, which was like 20 years later.
Excuse me.
This was it includes a very pretty, well, not explicit like an actual porno, but like for an R-rated movie, and this is what's largely cut down in the R-rated, like a very explicit sex scene about a half hour in, and I saw that when I was 9, and a very gory death. Like the girl gets split in half in the tent when she's fucking the guy, and that's all what I saw when I was 9. Because I saw some stuff. Interesting. He got a lot of stuff from the Menendez Jose Menendez's home video company.
Who did?
My uncle.
Oh.
Like a lot of this stuff, that was New Line Cinema. Jason Goes to Hell is New Line Cinema, obviously,
Yeah.
but he got a lot of stuff from IVE Entertainment, which was the Jose Menendez home video distribution company. He went to like parties and like he was at Jose Menendez's house once, and like Jose Menendez like picked him up and moved him out of his way physically because he was standing where he didn't want him to stand.
Wow.
But so I got a lot of these tapes from. It's possible they could have been physically handed to him by Jose Menendez, and then they ended up in my possession. So that's kind of a.
Let's hear it for Jose Menendez. Not where I thought.
Yeah.
That was going. What's your PTA like? Feelings and thoughts?
Yeah.
What's my making? What was it? There Will Be Blood.
That's your number one.
Yeah, number one.
'Cause you're a cliche,
And
got it.
then number two definitely is One Battle After Another.
Ooh. Okay.
I haven't seen any other one except Licorice Pizza. I would put that at the bottom.
I would put One Battle After Another ahead of There Will Be Blood, and I know like film bros or in the intelligentsia would say like, no, but it's better because it doesn't. I don't care. This is more entertaining. It's more fun.
What impression was that?
What?
What kind of impression was that?
That was somebody who has like a doctorate in film but has never made one, and evaluates
Okay.
them and telling me, no, There Will Be Blood is better because it's got all this symbolism, and I've listened to Quentin talk about it, and it's like, yeah, I get why it's great, and I loved it when I saw it the first time and subsequent times since then. But I'd still pick this movie over There Will Be Blood because it's more fun.
Well, wait, isn't yours number 3?
Yeah.
So why is Boogie Nights ahead of another One Battle After Another?
I feel like that may eventually change, but I had Boogie Nights recently, and that movie's just fucking fun time.
It was a huge dong at the end, right? That did it for you?
It's always about the dong.
I
That's
mean,
how I judge every show, every new series, especially on
Hang dong.
HBO. Like if it's HBO, I expect quality donk. And with Righteous Gemstones and White Lotus now currently like in a hiatus, like I don't have like a good source of donk in my.
Hey, don't forget Toxic Avenger.
oh, yeah,
Well,
there's
I mean like human donk.
It's gotta be human.
It can be prosthetic like Jason Isaacs' donk in White Lotus, but it's got to be at least looking human. Otherwise, it doesn't count. Righteous Gemstones always had real donk.
Yeah, real.
Even if it was like old guy donk transplanted onto Walton Goggins donk,
Yeah,
it's still real donk.
that's what everyone refers to.
That's the
donk
problem
as.
with AI. We don't know if dicks are real anymore.
Oh yeah, that's what I'm gonna say. If a picture of my donk is ever out there, it's AI. It's AI. That picture of my donk, it's AI.
That's why it's so big.
Okay. Does
The real
anyone
one's
want to
smaller.
take on my assertion that One Battle After Another is more fun than There Will Be Blood, even though we understand?
It's a lot more fun than There Will Be
Argue,
Blood. I like the
against it or
seriousness.
agree with it. Take it on.
Well, you haven't seen There Will Be Blood, correct?
I've seen parts of it.
Why have you not watched these movies? Like,
They're
You
too
can make
fucking
parts
long.
of a
They're
debate.
too long.
you watch long movies in other circumstances?
I mean, I watched this movie, which was almost 3 hours long, but
2 hours 40. Yeah.
No, it's 250. It's
I
250.
think it's 240 for sure. We could look it up. We're not. You can look it up, dear viewer, right now. I was going to go a different direction. Is this a Christmas movie?
No, there's nothing Christmas about this movie.
Okay. We'll save that for spoilers then. It's definitely a Christmas movie, but
It's not.
Taylor thinks that MAGA doesn't like this movie, or he's like been radicalized by Reddit into thinking like right-leaning people wouldn't enjoy this movie, and I don't feel that way. I think it hits both sides. Not even both sides.
I know it hits both sides. It's just the rights are being flamboyant about it.
Little
You're at the rights. You guys are being flamboyant.
little snowflakes about it.
taxes. I want the police to be too strong. Yeah, it's just they're being flamboyant about their being right. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Wait.
I haven't had a chance to watch Shapiro's review on it though, but he was blasting it apparently.
Well, we gotta be careful. Anytime we say his name, Nick has like a visceral reaction where he shouts epithets we can't say. Just to be clear, nothing anti-Semitic. In our movie next Our next movie after this had one of the most anti-Semitic lines I've ever heard in a movie, and it's from 1984. So it's a spoiler for the next series of episodes.
All right.
Well, I'm just saying.
Just yesterday I was trying to look up the meaning of that line, like to see did it mean what it meant, and
It means exactly what it sounds like. He's calling Jewish people stingy with money, and that's exactly how it's being used there. There's no reference to. These people could be considered conspiratorial, and I've heard before that all conspiracies end up in some sort of anti-Semitic thing, but I don't think that's the case in these people. I would argue are not even leftists because it's more just the binary of, are you willing to use violent means to upset the power?
You're talking about the French 75 in One Battle After Another.
Exactly, and we're non-spoilers, so I'm trying not to be like too over the top about it, because I think on the surface level, most people wouldn't come in thinking, oh, well, this is, leftist Hollywood trying to encourage violent means of fighting against fascism or whatever.
Well, is this spoilers to say who they attacked, though?
Well, the
can that be
opening
seen
of
as
the
the
movie
left?
is attacking an ICE detention center.
Yeah,
I don't
wouldn't
think
that
that's a
be-
spoiler to say.
What is essentially a stand? Yeah, I mean it's essentially
taking
a
stance.
stand-in for
Yeah.
ICE. Yeah, even though it's not ICE, but it's
Yeah, what
ICE.
is it, MKU?
Oh, they don't say it's an ICE facility at the
No,
moment?
it's like MKU
No,
or
they
something.
they came up with a different.
I think it was
name for
immigration for sure, but not ICE for sure.
Yeah, it was.
I go back and forth on this. Like, for just to be clear, I believe we should have borders and facilitate people immigrating in the correct way into the country, whatever. But like, I kind of understand if you think like there's imperial state that is too strong. Like America are the imperialists in Star Wars, according to George Lucas. That's not me trying to push some sort of narrative on it. No, they see it as like the imperial empire is doing this. But like, do we even have nations anymore when there are multinational corporations that have the ability to influence your government more than any democratic action any of us can take?
Well, there's that, and then I also wonder why people get so worked up about borders between countries, but they don't care about borders between states. Like you could say, oh, drug usage is because they make it about drugs, right?
Or guns. There's an easy gun conversation.
But conservatives don't care about guns, so they don't. Let's be honest, they don't. So it's always about drugs. It's always about fentanyl, because that's how they pronounce it, because they're dumb. So
How do you pronounce it?
Fentanyl. It's
Fentanyl.
a Y. It's not an O. It's not OL.
So
It's Y.
fentanyl instead of fentanyl.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Words, pronunciation matters.
Tylenol, not Tylenol.
Exactly.
Or
it's
for us.
it's the inverse of Tylenol. They're getting it mixed
I'm
up
gonna start
with.
saying Tylenol.
In fact, it won't piss me off. It's just making fun of dipshits, and I like that. So, because I do it. So, like you could argue, oh, this state has a higher, their drug usage, fentanyl, the fentanyl is getting used more in this state versus this state.
I call them the Fenties.
But no one cares about the borders between that state and this other neighboring state that has less fentanyl usage. So why don't they care about people crossing those borders?
Well, because we know the in that circumstance of what you're describing, that's coming from another nation through our porous borders. Like fentanyl is coming from China and Mexico into this country, and then how it moves between states, I think, is not as important as that it comes into the country, right?
But that's just another example of a border, like a state border and a country border. Like the only difference is that like country borders, you have people who you're more likely to sound and look different than you. That's why I think it's largely from a racist point of view when you have so much emphasis on it's all just a bunch of imaginary lines. I mean, they're imaginary other than the fact that they are recognized by law, I guess.
If the country can enforce it, then it matters. Because like we're seeing right now, there are parts of the world where you can't enforce the border you thought you had. Therefore, did the border matter? I don't want to get bogged down in geopolitical
I'm talking about like why is there such an emphasis on it in the first place, though? You have land that is connected.
Sure.
You have neighboring states. The land is obviously connected. You have imaginary lines between states. But suddenly this one down here matters way more than all these other ones.
Oh, yeah, like our border with Canada is much larger, and I think pound for pound, we probably have more people cross the Canadian border. I have to look that up, but
That's a great point. Why do they not care about all those people?
Well, because the way most people get into the country illegally is through what? Airports. Because they come here and overstay their, whatever.
Airports?
The way most people get into our country illegally is they fly here and they overstay. They come here legally and they overstay. Like the guy who just got
That's
arrested.
not illegal immigration. That's just overstaying
If they stay past, then they're breaking the law.
Okay,
Yeah.
but that's still not, that has nothing to do with borders because you're flying. So when they talk about securing borders, they're talking about like walls and they're talking about like policing who crosses. That is
Yes, and the
very
logical
little
argument against that, like we did this 10 years ago when a certain individual came to power the first time. It was like, well, why are you worried about a wall when like most people get here illegally by overstaying through an airport? Like they fly here and then they overstay, and like that's
a good argument for why maybe the whole wall thing is like performative.
like everything in politics. Yeah,
And, like-
I think it is interesting. You don't see any politicians in this movie. You do see the military, but you don't see any politicians that I can think of.
You don't think the members of the group or anyone were politicians?
They call themselves they're saying they're in a political action group, which I mean everything is political from a certain point of view. But fourth Farx, Ben would argue sometimes a guy with a brick is just a guy with a brick. They don't have an ideology. Like we've been talking about it in terms of like these nihilist shooters, right? Like they don't really have an ideology that's coherent because they're just kind of like doing it for the lulls. That's a theory that is out there.
Because the shooter engraved some stuff on their bullets,
Well,
that kind of
I'm
thing?
not even going to touch that, whatever
Then what are you
that
talking
is.
about then?
I'm saying, like, when you read, for instance, a shooter manifesto, they have conflicting ideologies. So it's like, well, are they really... Leonardo DiCaprio's The French 75, they have a consistent ideology among a group of people, and they are fighting for that ideology as a political group, versus some nihilist shooter who's like, I'm an anti-Semite over here, but I'm also woke about this over here. It's like, it doesn't
You have to be very specific because I don't know what shooter you're talking about.
I guess I'll use the shooter, like the ice shooter, because there was supposedly he was trying to hit ICE, and then he missed and hit detainees. And one of the things that Ken Klippenstein figured out by talking to his friends is that if he were to have put the things on the shell casing, which is only alleged at this point, like the only way that would make sense is, well, it went along with his personality. He wasn't particularly political. But he would say extreme things for the attention, the lulls, if you will. Whereas I'm contrasting that with the French 75, where they have like a clear ideology that is the American government is some imperialist thing that needs to be stopped because we enforce too heavily. Could we even describe what the ideology of the group is based on this movie?
Immigration, isn't it? Detaining immigrants at the
Well,
border.
I mean, they were
sometime?
definitely. Other than the fact that they were striking against a facility like that in the beginning, all I could tell was that they definitely seem like more leftist, but that's a big thing too. But that could just be one of their things. They could also be like immigration, but they could also be like a bunch of other things too.
They're anti-fascism because
Yeah.
clearly Sean Penn's character is a fascist.
Yeah.
He has too much like power and uses it not even based on like what people want him to, just because he's motivated by things we can get into in the spoiler section, which we'll be coming up to shortly. I guess the three buckets I want to put this in is like there's right and left, which is people speaking within the Overton window of acceptable ideas. And then there's people with an ideology outside of that. And yeah, some of them are to the left, some of them are to the right. I've also heard it described as a clock. Like right and left, I guess for you this is right and then this is left. But like once you go further and further to the extremes, they're all kind of the same if they're just blowing shit up and killing people. And
Yeah, sure.
Well, technically in the movie they don't kill anybody.
they're
And-
against killing people. And like to make it about us, that's exactly what we talked about in the Foot, is that some people in the Foot are like, well, I'm okay with blowing up a cell tower. I'm not okay with killing people to blow up a cell tower, right? Like that's a different ideology, and that's principled terrorism, or principled freedom fighting, because one man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter.
Isn't that more specifically domestic terrorism?
Isn't that more specifically, well, what I guess you're saying, like domestic terrorism is people within their country attacking, themselves, versus like how now we have experienced international terrorism, where, hey, somebody, from across the world came over here and attacked us a couple of times. One significant one we celebrate every year, But it happened in the 90s before 2001 at the World Trade Center even. Because remember they blew up something in the basement or parking garage and they killed like a couple of people. And yeah, so like, are those rightist terrorists, Because they have a more, I don't even know what you call, like, they wouldn't let women drive, you know what I mean? Whereas the French 75 would clearly let women drive and lead their organization. So does that make them leftist, and then the people who blow up the World Trade Center are on the right? You get what I'm
Well, when
saying?
they're not coming from our culture anyway, then that's a totally different thing.
Oh yeah, so then we're not talking about the Overton window of domestic stuff. It's what does the world, accept, and that's interesting. I have made this point to you guys, and maybe we can end on this, and you can tell me why I'm wrong. I don't like the term genocide, not because I don't think it exists, but because there's no one to enforce. It's a legal term. Who's going to enforce if someone screws up in the world? Well, it's one of the superpowers. Either China's going to stop it, the United States is going to stop it, or Russia's going to stop it. And/or they're the ones doing it to begin with. So, I would say ethnic cleansing.
Yeah.
Like there's ethnic cleansing
Well, what does
going
that
on
have
in
to do with
Nigeria
the
as well.
usage of the term genocide, though?
Yeah, why don't you?
Because genocide implies, and this is me, I've heard this argument, and I kind of agree with it, which is it implies that there's an international body that would enforce a set of standards. But we don't have that. Like the ICC voted that, Netanyahu is a war criminal, and if he flies into some countries, he will be arrested immediately. But they can't enforce that. They can't make him go to The Hague because there's no there's no international world police who will enforce that.
Yeah.
And I don't want there to be. Just to be
Yeah.
clear, that's a fascism I'm very afraid of. Is a worldwide, network of jackbooted thugs who decide you are following policy or you are not. I prefer it distributed between different nation states disagreeing with.
Yeah,
one
but
another.
genocide just as a word just means like wiping
Murdering
out,
of
like
a
the attempt to
specific
wipe
group of
out.
people, yeah.
That's
So,
what
like,
I'd say. Ethnic
what-
cleansing
what-
accomplishes the same thing without the legal
But
implication.
why don't you like the word genocide? You're saying it's a
Because
What
of the
do you call
legal
it?
implication,
Legal
that
implication,
can't be
yeah.
enforced, it's more efficient for me as a person to just use ethnic cleansing. Like clearly you're just killing all these people because they're one ethnicity, for example.
But I still
That's
don't
what
understand the
genocide
issue
means,
of genocide, though. Yeah,
Yes, but what I'm saying is that, and we'll end here, is that I think that implies a legal remedy that does not exist.
I don't think.
why
Other
I
than
don't think.
anything
I don't
illegal,
think.
though?
Call
I don't
it
think.
just like
yeah.
homicide is like okay. That's a word for like.
Homicide and murder mean the same thing, but one is like what the courts say, and the other is like how we colloquially refer to it.
What about regicide? Is it that murder of like a family member or a father or something?
Regicide?
Yeah.
I
There's
don't know.
have to look that
matricide,
up. Yeah.
patricide,
Yeah, that's-
infanticide,
Oh yeah.
all sorts of sides. But like, those they have objective definitions regardless of the legal. Like same as genocide. I don't think the term genocide has any tie to the legal remedy for it. Like it is what it is.
I accept that as a counterbait. Should we move into spoilers?
Well, Taylor, any last thoughts for our non-spoiler segment? Anyways, regicide is the action of killing of a king.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Hashtag
Taylor?
no kings, I guess.
Any last thoughts?
Well, moral of the story: we gotta stop the lunatics, the haters, and the punk trash.
No, and the beardos. We can't have any beardos, okay?
Weirdos?
Well, that's a term from like the 60s or 70s that maybe the Secretary of War used to describe people in the armed forces.
Secretary of War, right.
It's
No
what it was
longer
called
defense.
up until, I think it's more honest.
I don't care if it's wrong. It's just a stupid name change.
That's what it was during World War II. Did you think America was stupid during World War II?
I think we're all stupid. Not just
fair.
America.
It's
All
always
right.
idiocracy. It's not becoming idiocracy.
Join us in our spoiler segment as we dissect one battle after another.
We're going to bait hard.
Thank you for listening. For more JK Productions, find us on Instagram at JK Productions Team and on Facebook, JK Productions MN.